Forecasting is the foundation of every successful business for one simple reason.
When you can forecast with accuracy, you can invest ahead in future growth. So maybe that means forward investing in R&D headcount so that you can accelerate product development. Or maybe that means adding sales headcount so you can increase capacity and accelerate growth.
Over the last 10 years, sales forecasting has driven the explosive growth of the most successful enterprises in the world. On any given week, teams should be able to answer every one of these questions. Will we hit or miss our quarter? Do we have enough pipeline to hit our future goals? How well is our business driving net dollar retention? Are we effectively converting the white space in our accounts and territories? And yet, 55% of sales leaders and 57% of quota-carrying sellers don't have confidence in their forecast accuracy.
If you can't roll the business up, if you can't understand where the revenue is coming from and what parts of the business it's coming from, you can't run a successful company.
So why do leaders settle for less than accurate sales forecasts? It's actually not their fault. The system that they rely on is broken, and it's been broken for a long time. One of the oldest professions in history, sales can be traced back to ancient texts. As long as there were goods to be sold, there was someone doing the selling. And here's where it gets really good.
When radio and then TV were introduced to the public, sales teams were able to get their products in front of a massive audience for the first time. Around the 60s, mass marketing techniques started to dominate popular culture, as marketing and selling became two complementary but separate functions, and advertising hit the mainstream.
Fast forward to the introduction of the internet, which allowed for explosive growth and a new era for business.
The internet gave the buyers a whole bunch of information. They could now start the buying process without engaging with a sales rep. Companies started to adopt subscription-based software, and that would start this continuous customer journey.
New revenue models based on subscription and consumption required different measurement and management approaches, with metrics like recurring revenue, churn, upsell, and net dollar retention now key success indicators. Enter customer success teams, dedicated personnel focused on keeping customers happy and revenue flowing year after year after year.
Departments grew, roles multiplied, and empires were built. Marketing, sales, customer success, SDRs, sales enablement, account management, all carrying out different jobs, but with the unified goal of predictably driving revenue. But there was a huge problem.
These departments were in silos, and then silos within those silos. It was a massive free-for-all. Teams are all working off different data and not talking to each other.
Executives scrambled to get everyone on the same page. And it was important that they did, because as this was happening, the forecast became the benchmark for Wall Street.
Every quarter, public companies need to provide guidance to investors to make sure they don't create surprises that put them on the wrong side of the law. So now the forecast becomes more than essential. It's a critical factor that actually moves markets.
To try to manage their forecasting, companies turn to spreadsheets that get manually stitched together by dozens of analysts. This was the only way they could roll up their number and track their sales. And sometimes we're talking hundreds of sellers, thousands of accounts, and billions of dollars in revenue.
By the time that entire business is rolled up, the story's already changed, and that original story was wrong to begin with.
Leaders are forced into tactical, reactive decisions. Forecasting routinely misses the mark. Executive churn, team turnover, and missed opportunities was measured in the billions.
Accurate forecasting seemed impossible. It's like the revenue process was broken before it was even built. And these problems, the silos, the spreadsheets, the terrible lack of confidence in forecasting, it's not just history, it's the reality of revenue teams today.
But something remarkable is happening. Forward-thinking leaders are beginning to understand that revenue is not just an outcome. It's a business process that can be measured and optimized. Also, in order to drive predictable revenue, every individual on the revenue team needs real-time, actionable data to make everyday decisions that will affect their revenue outcomes. And so, the revenue operations movement has begun.
Clari was founded in 2012 to finally bring all revenue-generating functions together, really for the first time, by using AI and machine learning to pull all activity data together in real time and in one place.
Sales, marketing, and customer success all have access to the same data at the same time? What a concept!
With that level of visibility, every member of the revenue team can now march towards that same direction. And when that is actually done right, companies can call their number within 4% of their week 1 forecast. They can also grow 12 to 15% faster than their peers and are 34% more profitable at scale.
Using a spreadsheet to forecast just isn't going to cut it anymore. The expectations of boards, the expectations of investors is growth. And you need to be able to understand and predict where that growth is coming from.
Clari allows entire revenue teams to deliver predictable revenue across every geography, vertical, product line, or segment of their business. The platform combines execution insights, time series data, forecasting workflows, and AI-based projections to give revenue teams complete confidence in their revenue process and the results it delivers across any segment of their business. Clari is the only solution that does forecasting for opportunities and accounts, current quarter and future quarters, pipeline new business and renewals, high velocity and solution selling, product line and vertical solutions.
When you can triangulate with data, machine, and human, you're going to get a much more accurate and consistent forecast across your entire organization.
You're able to run the numbers for every possible scenario and see the impact on your forecast. When you use adaptive revenue metrics, you can easily track the key metrics that matter most for your business.
Of course, forecasting is not just about net new business. You need to forecast not just opportunities, but also accounts to track your performance against. Plan for pipeline, net new, renewal, and expansion business.
Rather than just focusing on a one-time opportunity, you can know the entire story for any prospect or customer.
This exciting time in the history of sales has bred stronger, faster, smarter sellers that are shaping the future of the revenue operations movement. The kind of sellers that use technology to inform their actions and decisions. The kind of sellers that play on the same team and enjoy the support of their entire company. The kind of sellers that call their number and nail their number quarter after quarter and accurately predict the future. For those of us who have been a part of the long-drawn history of sales, complete with silos and disparate reports and disjointed data, driving accurate forecasts might seem solely aspirational in nature. But friends, we live in the future of forecasting. We have the technology to do it. And the next generation of sellers will always know what it's like to call their number with confidence and hit it. And as they reflect on the history of sales, they'll think to themselves, wow, they couldn't predict the future of sales in the old days. What was that like?